In 33, when everybody were asked to join the Nazi party, and most people did, because Hitler did such a good job, and everybody was elated that things were getting better in Germany. The Autobahn he built, and all kinds of other things. And afterwards, people couldn't get out of it anymore because they were committed in the Nazi party. Well, I lived in a small valley in the Black Forest, and my father was the top person, a diploma engineer in a ammunition factory. And since towards the end of the war, there were no German men to work in the factories,
right,
so the Russians were working, the Russians, the Italians, and the French.
It's like prisoners of war?
Prisoners of war. And that's all there was around. And, well, and then, you know, the bombing started.
Oh, yeah.
Since we were in a little valley, it wasn't quite that bad. But we were hit behind the house, and a lot of damage was done. But, you know, I mean, that happened to anybody. But at night, I was so young, I couldn't sleep. And when I slept, I had the dreams, which I've never had now anymore. Dreams in color, with thunder, with blue seas. The colors were incredible. Never, because we were all scared, never afterwards did I see anything like that
I
anymore.
can imagine after all that it would be really scary.
Yeah. And then I do remember high officials from the Nazis came to visit my father because they want to make sure everything is getting all right, the ammunition and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So they, on horses and in uniform, fancy stuff, my God. And then they came to us kids, I must have been maybe there 7 or 8. They wanted to take me on a ride of those horses. Oh my God, I wanted to die. I didn't like the fancy people and Heil Hitler and Heil Hitler. I'm sorry, I used the wrong hand. Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
And that was a scary moment too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But
what happened to your father after the war?
after the war was finished, well, there weren't any other people in the factory anyway, but whoever was him on the top. They were told to go cut trees down in the woods. They had no jobs, and they had to do what they were told by the French who took over. And then they put him in front of a firing squad. To my knowledge, 2 times at least, but maybe 3 times. And the Russian, French, and Italian prisoners stood up for him. And they said, no, he's a good person.
He must have been pretty good if they were working for him.
He must have been. He always was a kind, good person.
Sounds like it.
Really. But so he stayed alive, thanks God. But it was a scary moment. I'm trying to think of other things that happened. Oh yeah, remember I'm telling you the bombing during the war, towards the end. You hear the bombs falling and explosions, and the air about, I would say, 5 miles away, like from here to Nashua, or a little bit further towards Manchester. My God, the skies were red with flames and smoke.
That's terrible.
Because they bombed everything. Yeah, but you know,
It's kinda,
that's a war.
Yeah, they kind of had to.
That's a war.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had to do away with whatever. So, but one thing they did. All the people that bombed, call it the English, French, Americans, whatever. They knew where there were problems, factories that were building war things, stuff.
Yeah.
There were a few cities left that never saw a bomb. Munich, Heidelberg, Rothenburg, and others. They were just pretty beautiful cities.
Wasn't Munich a very important city?
Yes, but it didn't have anything important in the middle of it. When you go now to Germany, especially these three cities, have all the old buildings and all the beautiful old stuff because they never got bombed. Frankfurt, Cologne, Berlin, Hamburg, all gone.
Yeah.
There was nothing much left. Nothing.
That's awful.
Yeah. It was scary.
Were food supplies and everything okay, or was there a shortage?
Oh, plenty shortage. But thanks God we had some chickens. But we shared it with everybody. And we had 2 cows.
Oh.
And I, 8 years old, I milked cows. Food, no, there was. And we never had any fruit. I remember the first French soldiers that came in. They gave us some bananas.
Yeah.
What is that?
You didn't know.
We never saw a banana in our life. No, no.
Wow.
And I remember one thing I do remember when the French came in. We were all in the underground tunnels, whatever you want to call them, because the French army started marching in. We scared left and right. It wasn't much space. Voici la France, voilà la France. Here is Frankreich, French. The can't France, that's what it is. Yeah.
Must have been really tough growing up through that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Not like you grow up today.
And especially, you want to know, there was a shortage of clothes, of shoes. We were 3 sisters. My older sisters got my grandmother's leftover shoes. And then, after she was done and got bigger, I got those old shoes. We fixed them somehow. And then my little sister got the last down the road, leftover old shoes.
What was school like growing up?
It was tough. It was tough. The teachers were always tough. But we had a lot of fun too. The school was always early in the morning until like 1 o'clock or so, because we never had any food at school. There was nothing there. Nothing.
I can imagine with the shortage.
Yeah, there was just nothing. And we were lucky if we had a bicycle or something, because there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing. And the cars. Your Uncle David is so excited about it because I told him. How they did it, I do not know. But in the back, they had a wood fire going.
Yeah.
And the wood fire made the cars go instead of gasoline.
Really?
Yes. And then what they had to do, they had all the ready wood in the car,
Yeah.
if they needed it. So then they stopped by the side of the road, and then they emptied the ashes on the side of the road. And oh, I loved the ashes. Soft, you step in there barefoot, soft and beautiful, until one day it was hot ashes. Did I burn my foot? And I didn't tell my mother what I was doing because she would have said, "You leave your shoes on." Yeah.
Oh man, I can't imagine growing up through that.
Well, and thanks God, we had fields in the valley, so we grew potatoes and carrots and, cabbage, anything that we could do down there. But
So you had to grow your own food.
oh, we had to grow our own food. We had to clean the own fields. I had to feed the chicken in the morning. And my father was supposed to kill the chickens. So somebody's just driving in. They killed the chickens because, we needed food.
Right.
My father couldn't kill a chicken. My mother had to kill the chickens.